Hello everybody, Andy here from Glass Half Dead, the #1 Kill Team channel on YouTube, unless of course you are aware of any other Kill Team channel. So today I want to talk about speculation, rumours, hype, etc. for the next Kill Team box. To be clear, there has been no new actual news since obviously Chapter Master Varrock put out his rumours months ago now, and there's been no update to that. So if you already know what that is, no new info here. I am going to try and speculate and guess at what the actual release date will be based on upcoming preview events and then how long it roughly takes for games to go from preview event to release, but no new genuine information, pure speculation. In case you are not aware, current Varrock rumour is Grey Knights versus Khorne, and we'll talk about what that could mean, the likelihood of that going forwards. Right, so with that said, let's just very quickly wrap up. Hey, release dates, when could it be? Because that's the new kind of speculation that could actually be given from me. So we've got two options that fit in with various timelines. We have either this weekend, we could get it announced because it's the Warhammer World Open Day. And for the past 2 years, the Warhammer World Open Day has given us reveals, different times. In 2023, we were given model reveals, like individual big guys like Farsight and Snickrot, which was cool. And then last year, or I can't remember what we got at all last year, but we got more things. It was never a big reveal. It was always like, hey, here's like 4 individual models. Obviously, generally, we would expect Kill Team to get a bigger reveal these days because it's a whole big box set. And obviously, they want to maximize the hype and the views and the eyes on that. So perhaps Warhammer World Open Day isn't the goer for that. Which means that the other time we could get it would be Adepticon, which is 21st, 26th to the 30th of March. So if we think about that, oh, okay, so then additionally, to kind of try and figure out timelines, we had the release date of Brutal and Cunning. It got previewed the week before Christmas and released like January the 6th. I've probably been demonetized for just saying that date now, sorry. Was it the 6th? No, it would have been the 4th, maybe? January the 4th? Yeah, don't know why January the 6th was in my head there, don't know. So if we just straight up go, we get a box every quarter, 3 months on, from January the 6th, we get Feb, March, April. So we could be looking at April the 5th. That's a possibility, as just straight up 3 months from the last box releasing, which means that we would then get our previews 2 weeks before that, on the 22nd of March. Cool. That's just 3 months from the Brutal and Cunning release. Alternatively, if we look at rough dates for the 2 reveals I just said there, if we get the reveal on the 1st, Saturday the 1st, we would probably expect a week and then 2 weeks. I reckon if we get the reveal on March the 1st, at this Warhammer World Open Day, we would get the release on the 29th of March, okay? So on the same weekend as Adepticon. Whereas if we get the reveal at Adepticon, we could expect, and you know, I'm thinking very roughly, how am I working this out? I'm thinking very roughly, it gets revealed. At some point in the next 2 weeks, they will probably ship it to reviewers. And then reviewers normally get 2 weeks with it, they hope. And then 2 weeks to release, right? So you're really looking at a month from reveal to release, minimum. So if it gets revealed at the 26th of March, we should expect release at the end of April. Obviously that's quite easy to figure out there. So what would we expect from previous releases though? So if we think back to the second release in each previous season. So we had Kill Team Nightmare, which released on April the 2nd. So that actually kind of lines up with a Warhammer World reveal day, sort of. But then we have the Soul Shackle, which was Hand of the Archon, and Exaction Squad, which was the second box, I believe. And that released on February. Yeah. So that's wildly different dates there, actually. So that doesn't really help us narrow things down. So fingers crossed, the sooner the better. I feel like we've all had Brutal and Cunning drop we're all like, okay, cool, two new teams, awesome. And then really we were just fingers crossed, locked in, really hoping for that balanced data slate. We've had that. Now, normally the way it will work is roughly time-wise, we'll be getting the new box, and then kind of like 2 weeks after that, we get a balanced data slate, which obviously doesn't touch the two new teams because the balanced data slate is written much before those. So we get the new box, we get a balanced data slate, we wait 3 months, and we repeat that cycle. That's roughly how things line up. We might get an emergency balance patch for the two new teams if something's absolutely out of whack, but that doesn't normally happen. Normally, both the GW design guys are happy to let that slide, unless it's absolutely genuinely the game no longer works. If you're looking kind of in the case of Felgor and Chaos Cults back when they released, that required an emergency patch to keep the game functional. But beyond that, they generally like to kind of hold fire and wait for things to play out, because it does, in fairness, take the players a certain amount of time to kind of understand, hey, this team is difficult to beat, but given time, we figured it out. And then you also have to consider, okay, well, are they balancing for the top end? And yes, top players can beat them, but it's really tough, but it can be done. But then also top players like to win, so that's a really tough dichotomy. Like, yeah, top players can beat them, but also top players are playing them, so good luck. But then also, okay, well, top players can beat them, bottom players literally can't. And in general, GW tends to design and balance for that top. So I guess because they're bottoms, I don't know, always being led by the top. So moving on from that, we've got to think about the rumours for the models. We're looking at Grey Knights and we're looking at Khorne. Let's start with Khorne, because to me that's less interesting because I'm a Grey Knight stan. So if you're thinking of Khorne, we were not told what the Khorne is. So we have three options. We have mortals, we have marines, and we have demons. If you're thinking of mortals, what could we be getting? Well, firstly, Khorne mortals exist. They're called jackals. These bad boys, lovely sculpts, by the way. These already exist. We've been told in the past that this edition, we are not just going to be box plus upgrade sprue anymore. Now, if I'm honest, this box is ripe for an upgrade sprue and it would still be banging because they're great sculpts. But we would assume we wouldn't get that. So you've got to look at the World Eater's army in 40k. Is there anything that army is missing? It kind of has a little bit of everything, perhaps. You've got one type of marine, plus you've got demonic marines and terminators. You then have one mortal squad, which is the jackals there. And then that's kind of it. That's all the army. It's a very small range. They don't have any demons in their codex. And as we know, going forwards, GW is wanting to consolidate demons. Well, sorry, as we know, as rumoured, sorry. GW is wanting to scrap demons as their own faction and put demons into the respective marine codex. So we could assume that Bloodletters will end up in the World Eaters codex, and Demonists of Slanesh will end up in the new Emperor's Children codex, etc., and they will lose their individual demons soup codex, which is a shame because I like demons as a concept, but I actually do really like them within the Chaos Marines codexes, so that it's a shame and it's not a shame at the same time. There you go. I don't know. It is what it is. So we could be looking at a resculpt for all the demons going into their Marine Codex, which would mean a new Bloodletters sculpt. That'd be cool. Perhaps like just a basic new Bloodletter sculpt, but obviously with an upgrade sprue or just generally more customizable demons. I'm leaning away. I don't think we're going to get demons. I just don't think we're going to get new Khorne demons. It really feels like GW has said, yeah, we don't care about demons anymore. We don't like that we accidentally gave you a faction that you can play across multiple game systems. That's not how we like to do things. We don't like giving you value for your money. We're going to take that back. So I just feel like demons aren't the way they're leaning, and they're going to let us use decades old sculpts forever because they don't want to refresh that. New mortals are possible if we think more cultist as opposed to just generic dude, because the jackals aren't really, well, they are cultists, but they're not like a bunch of chilled out dudes just worshipping Khorne in a very placid way. They're very aggressive. They're berserkers, human berserkers. So I don't know. You could definitely see a more magical-based, psychic-based cultist, which would make sense, I suppose, although Khorne doesn't tend to like psykers, but they make it up. Which, of course, brings us to more Marines. World Eaters could totally use more Marines, and it would be very interesting what they decide to do with that. So we currently have Khorne Berserkers as kind of the only thing, like regular Marine, that the World Eaters can take. Now, these are very cool. They do one thing. They move forward, that they hit stuff, and that's all they do. They don't do anything else. But what we could be considering, perhaps, is a full Khorne-based Marine team and kill team, which would be a new sprue. It would be something other than Khorne Berserkers. No idea what that could be. It'd be really interesting and exciting to see. And then we would, I don't know, really focus on the kill team rules of like, in the World Eaters, I can't remember what it's called, but you get an ability, you roll your dice, and then depending on the numbers you've rolled, you can do different things each turn. We might get something as crazy as that, which would be really interesting to see how that plays out in kill team. It's a very cool thing. Good luck balancing it, but that's what I'd say about any team. So there you go. So that'd be nice. I personally vote for Khorne Marines, because we know we're losing Legionary, right? So let's get Khorne Marines in there. Nice. Okay, Grey Knights. Sorry. Also, just to quickly parrot back to the Valrak rumour, he has not said Khorne Marines or Khorne Demons or Khorne Mortals. He's just said Khorne. I believe at one point he said Khorne Cultists, but I don't think he then repeated that ever, so he's just said Khorne. So we don't know. But that's cool. I like Khorne. Right, moving on. Grey Knights. These Grey Knight models are old AF, and they're not loving life. The whole range needs a refresh. Luckily, the whole range is 3 kits, so that's fine. It's not a big deal. You've got Strike Force, you've got Terminators, and you've got the Baby Carrier. Now, the Baby Carrier is obviously not in Kill Team. Cool, ignore that. We're then looking at the Strike Force and the Terminators. Both of these kits need a refresh. Both of the kits are also multi-part, not multi-part, they're all multi-part kits. I know the word. They're dual kits. So they're actually more than dual kits. They're tri-kits, I suppose. So you can make multiple characters and multiple unit types from both of these kits. For the Terminators, you've got Terminators and you've got Paladins, and you can then make, I can't remember, but you can make certain characters. Likewise with the Strike kit, Strike Force kit, Strike Troops, what are they called? I have an army. Strike Squad, okay. So you can actually make like 3 or 4 squads out of this. And like one of them is just paint their head white. That's the kit. But whatever, it's fine, it counts. So we could be looking at that. If you look at both of those, both of the kits need a refresh, but it could give us some actual list building if we're thinking of the 6-man Strike Squad. So the way that works with the current kit is you've got the regular Strike Squad, you've got the Interceptor? I don't know. The guys that can teleport. You've also got the Purgators, which are like the heavy weapons with like a psychic AoE attack. And you can also make some champions, some heroes, whatever they're called, leaders, whatever they're called. So there you go. So I think that if you're doing the Grey Knight team, you want to just take the Strike Squad and just say, hey, Psychic Marines, and we're doing Psychic Marines properly, and they're going to be awesome. And they have different kit loadouts, so you could do double falchions, you could do halberd, and you can also take some of them as maybe they're only 12 wounds, but they can teleport, like a Mandrake sort of thing. Or you can take a regular Strike Squad, which is 14 wounds, but can't teleport, blah, blah, blah. And maybe different psychic powers for each. Yeah, that's what I would like. I would like just a range refresh. Now, you might argue that, well, Andy, actually, Grey Knights aren't going to be Primarist. From a lore perspective, and that is true, but they're still very small models compared to every other Marine faction. And as we know, like with Chaos models, Chaos Marines, they're not Primarist. They're still bigger models now. So ultimately, Grey Knights are going to get Primaris sized, even if they are not Primarisified. Maybe the warp made them bigger. If that works for the Chaos, it works for the Grey Knights. Let me tell you that right now. Cool. So I 100% vote for just give me that Grey Knight Strike Squad, but like a centimetre taller. I'm in. I'm fully sold. I'm buying 20 of them, and I'm starting a Grey Knight army for 40k. Now, with that said, do we think this is actually going to happen? So at this point, in general, Valrak, at this point in a release cycle, has a 100% for the whole of last edition accuracy rating. So there is no part of me that thinks we're not getting this. However, there is one small rumour which could imply that we're not getting it, and that is the fact that a Grey Knight range refresh is on the rumour bingo card for next edition 40k. Now, we don't know to what scope. We don't know if they're going to be the Marine faction in the next big box, or if they are just getting a range refresh when they get their next codex in another 5 years or whatever it is. We don't know. It's just range refresh Grey Knights next edition of 40k. The range is so small that if we get a Grey Knight kit now, the range refresh in 4 years is 2 boxes. That doesn't feel like a range refresh. So, are they actually going to do that? I think, if I'm going to put my money on the table, I think that Valrak has a 100% batting average at this point, so yes, we're definitely getting Grey Knights and World Eaters. However, if I were to look at other things in the space, I would probably say, no, we're not getting Grey Knights. And Khorne is up in the air. I would like some Khorne. There are 3 valid team types they could do there. Are we going to get them? I don't know. But I feel like the Grey Knight refresh isn't coming for this Kill Team box. I have no reason to think that. That's just me being controversial, although nobody has made it to this part in the video, so nobody is aware of my controversial statements. Because I started this video out purely facts-based, talking about dates and numbers, and who doesn't love some dates and numbers? Of course, I've never been on a date, so I can't actually talk about that. However, there is one final thing to say, which is, when's the bloody box coming out? I'm ready, G-dubs. Give it to me now, please. Thank you. There you go. Yeah, it's been long enough. That's all I'm saying. I'm ready for the new box. I was chatting with a friend, which is like, oh my god, it's going to be Grey Knights and Khorne Berserkers. I'm so excited. The way I express my hype is that I generally go and buy the boxes so that I can start a 40k army using whatever the next Kill Team box is, right? Like that's how I like to express my overabundance of enthusiasm. I obviously don't put that into my channel because we've got to be dour, we've got to be a miasma of gloom, we've got to always be sour upon GW. But I give them a hell of a lot of money. So don't follow my example, but do give money to me instead. If you like what I'm doing here, check me out on Patreon because I give you extra rambles and you also get to see early videos. Like right now, my patrons have access to, I think, like 12 videos. They're just... I've already pre-recorded and they're just lying around on my channel waiting for me to put them live, so do go check that out. Thanks for watching, everybody. What do you think? Do you think we are getting Grey Knights and Khorne? Do you think we're getting the Mortals, the Demons, or the Marines for Khorne? And which kit do you think we're getting for Grey Knights? I don't think it's going to be Terminators. I'm just going to say it right now. Although if we were to get Terminators, it would be Grey Knights. They make the most sense. And it will probably be like 3 Terminators and 2 Cherubs, because you've got to be 5 models because of the kill-op. Unless they have a custom rule that says, you know, for each model, you get 3 Terminators and that's it. And for each model, the kill-op count them as a 6 model, they count as 2 models or something like that. It could all be made to work, right? GW they can do anything they want with the teams. The rules are flexible enough for that. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you.